Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you on another ride along with the mighty Gator Unleashed. We are coming at you here on a Sunday morning. Today is July the, what is it today? July the 20th? Something like that. That's not going to miss it by more than a day or two. Been doing a little shooting and fixing to do a little gun cleaning. And I just got to thinking about some things I wanted to bring to the channel here right fast. This is all stuff that you've probably seen before, but talk about some Glock 9mm. I've been shooting the Glock 48. Oh man, I love it. It's the gun I carry most often with me. Just go ahead and touch on it here. I was about to clean this. Gun's unloaded, totally safe. Of course, now when I carry this, it's loaded. I know when we do these YouTube videos and things, we've got to be very cautious about safety and things, and that's good. Need to be. But in reality, you have to be able to handle your gun loaded. If you can't, then it's no good to you. You might as well carry a club. But for the sake of this video, this gun is unloaded. So let's make that clear. The Glock 48 is the cheapest of the Glock 9mm that I know of, or it was the last time I was at the gun shop looking, by $100. I don't really understand why. This is a great gun. For me, it fits my hand perfect. And of course, that's personal preference. Nobody can tell anybody else what's going to work for them. You have to see what fits your hand. That's a huge part of it. And then you have to factor in other things. This holds 10 rounds. If you don't feel that's adequate, first of all, I promise you that is adequate. But if you don't feel it is, what I feel doesn't matter, then that rules out the 48. You got to get something. The 48's a single stack. There's no cure for the 10 rounds unless you just got a big long magazine sticking out. Also, I want to touch. Can you see the trigger on this? See how flat it is? Let me go in this way. I change all my triggers, just the shoe, to the precision trigger shoe. All my Glock triggers. Except the one I bought a whole trigger kit for it. But for me, the Glocks have a great trigger from the factory. I don't like the little pointy trigger shoe, the little pointy trigger. And when you go to the range, if you're someone like me that actually shoots, that actually uses their firearms, you'll notice things about them that you don't like. And one of the first things I've noticed with all Glocks is they have the feel of the factory trigger. I'm not talking about the feel of the trigger activation mechanism. I'm talking about the feel of the trigger against your finger. It's awful. It's absolutely, how they designed it so bad, I'll never know. It comes to a point. It's like you're pulling on a sharp edge every time you shoot. Didn't work for me. It's an easy fix. These are, what was they, 35 bucks, I think. But anyway, kind of getting away from the Glock. A lot of people, you hear them always talking about the Glock sights. That's another thing I don't understand. And these are guys that's making really good living, probably off of YouTube, doing gun reviews. These sights are absolutely perfect for the purpose of these firearms. These firearms are designed to quickly draw and get on target. That's what they're designed for. They're not designed to go to a range and drive tacks from the factory. Now, you can change the sights on these and get some of these new night sights. You can get some of these range sights and put on them, especially something like the Glock 17L with the long slide, which gives you a longer sight radius, which helps accuracy. All that's fine. I never try to tell people what's right, what's wrong, but I will also at the same time defend something that does exactly what it was designed to do. These Glock sights work from the factory. If you're going and purchasing a Glock for self-defense, you're not going to change the sights to anything that works better than what's on them, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. That doesn't mean nothing to anybody in the world except me. At least give that a thought, though. They just work perfect. Remember, this is a self-defense weapon. It's designed to get it quickly, get on target quickly. That's what these sights do. Got some goodies for you here today. Now, like I touched on, this 48 works for me. This is what I carry more than anything else. Already 5.5 minutes in. I'm sorry. Let's move on. The 48, 10 rounds, Glock reliability, fantastic self-defense weapon. We've also got Glock 26 here. Now this weapon has got a Hive Technologies trigger kit, trigger bar, trigger, the whole thing. I really love it. I really have customized this for myself. And I carried it for a long time. It's just so thick. I'll just go ahead and say it. For me, it's not as comfortable in my hand as the Glock 48. I've got this set up. It's sort of like a little bit smaller, shorter Glock 19. Because I've got 15 round capacity here. I've got 3 mags with 15 rounds. And it does fit my hand, and it feels good. It shoots good. The 48 shoots good too. The trade-off, everything in life is a trade-off, guys. And that's some very basic, simple things you have to accept and understand. With the 48, I gain a better feeling firearm in my hand, a firearm that I can manipulate a little tiny bit better than I can this 48. I can't hardly reach the slide release as good. Of course, that's not something that's a big deal anyway, because I carry my firearms loaded and one in the chamber. But the trade-off is, with the 48, compared to this, I lose 5 rounds. This holds 15 rounds. And with this, when I used to carry this, I found myself carrying a belt mag holder that held 2 more 15-round clips. So I had 45 rounds on me. You know, then I got to thinking, and I carried that for a long time like that. I mean, I was loaded to the gills. And then, you know, I got to thinking, why do I need all that? If you look at shootouts, anytime you see any kind of shootout on the news or anything, there's never more than 4 or 5 rounds fired. There's just not. They tried to assassinate President Trump the other day, and depending on who you talk to, there was 7 rounds or 9 rounds fired in total. It's just the round count is not needed, in my opinion. But this is another great option if you're like me and feel like 9mm is hard to beat. Oh, you sacrifice depending on how you're made and what you like and the size of your hands and things. With the 26, trade-off is a thicker gun that isn't as easily manipulated as the 48, but you've got an extra 5 rounds of ammunition. Also, it's probably not hardly as accurate, but it's probably very little difference too. They've got the sights on these at the extreme end of going both ways on this, so you've got a pretty good sight radius. And I've actually not shot my Glock 26 in a long time, but it was a gun that I could always shoot very well. So really, as far as targeting, probably very little difference there. Now we go to the Glock 45. And this is a firearm, I don't know why they call this a 45. This one here has the precision trigger shoe. This is a 19 slide, 17 frame, 17 rounds. This is a full-size 9mm, though the 17 is bigger. 17 has a longer slide. I think is it an inch? Maybe not a full inch. This fits my hand great. The trigger shoe makes all the difference in the world. I'm just bringing you 3 great options in terms of Glock pistols, guys. I have shot all of these. I have shot the 26 the most. I don't think I've ever had any hiccups or malfunctions with any of them. They're just you always hear the terminology Glock reliability. These pistols just work, guys. They just work. And the reason I show you these different models is it just there's a lot of things to factor in when you decide to start carrying a weapon. You know, you put this on your side and put 17 rounds in it, 18 counting one in the chamber if you choose to do that. That's a little more. That's a little more of an issue when you go shopping to the shopping mall or whatever with your wife and family, and carry that around all day. You'll find getting in and out of the car, it's a little more bulky and bumpy. There's just a lot of things to consider. Now at the range, you know, if you could just snap your finger and be at the range and have a firearm, this would be a no-brainer for anybody. You take away all the issue of carrying it all day, you're just simply in a situation where you're aiming and pulling the trigger. This gun has more rounds, as I mentioned, it has more capacity. You are going to be more accurate with this firearm. That's just undebatable facts. At the same time, it's a little heavier. It's a little more difficult to carry all day. And when you start talking about that, that's really dangerous ground, because if you find yourself being inconvenienced or annoyed by the comfort of your firearm, it's real easy to find yourself saying, well, you know, I'm just going to leave it at the house. I'm not going to run into anything today. I'm just running down here to IGA to get a box of Fruit Loops with marshmallows. The Fruit Loops has got to have marshmallows or everybody gets mad. You know, the chances I'm going to get into a shootout they're probably less than 1/10 of 1%. And that's probably true for anybody that might see this video. But at the same time, man, if you got into a situation and didn't have the firearm, especially if you didn't have it because it was a little bit uncomfortable to carry, then you probably made the wrong choice in choosing your weapon. For me, after carrying all of these, I have kind of decided the 48 is for me the firearm that I choose to carry. In terms of Glock, I have some other firearms. I will occasionally go and get my 38 revolver, or actually it's 357 revolver. I carry 38. Mostly I carry 38 plus P in it. Sometimes I carry just 38 special because I worry about over-penetration, and I always touch on that on my videos. We don't need these big super high powerful rounds out in public, even in a self-defense situation. That's going to greatly increase the risk of going through the bad guy, I'll say, and hitting some innocent bystanders, or going through a wall and hitting some innocent bystander. If I ever have to use a firearm to defend myself, I want my bullet to, first of all, I want to hit the bad guy and nobody else. And second of all, I definitely do not want the bullet to be such a big, powerful round that it goes through the bad guy and hits somebody else. The weakest 38 round, and I've noticed that a 38 special is really weak. If you get out shooting boards and things, you'll notice that a 38 special round is really weak. And reading on the boxes, I think they're only like 850 feet per second in terms of shell velocity, where a typical 115 grain 9mm will be probably 1150 or 1200 feet per second. It's 8 or 9mm. So there's some things to consider. You know, consider what the purpose of self-defense is. You want to stop somebody from trying to bring harm to you and yours. That's the purpose. You don't have to shoot them full of holes. You don't have to have such a powerful round it goes through them. You don't have to blow their arm off. You just have to put them down or put them going the other direction. That's the goal. I hope that's the goal. And guys, I can't do a video without touching on my new favorite little firearm, which is the Kel-Tec P17. I absolutely cannot stress how much I love this firearm. It's the most fun to shoot firearm. If you don't have a Kel-Tec P17, go to your local gun store and get you one in layaway. Pay for it and let them order it. Whatever you have to do. If you like firearms and like to shoot, it's just such a pleasure to get out and shoot this. And of course, 22 long rifle, affordable. This little firearm comes with 3 17-round magazines. 3 17-round magazines. They're a little over $200. $220 will probably get you out the door in one, unless they've gone up since I've got mine. I bought 2 of them. I bought 2 brand new ones. I love them. And you're looking at a guy that's got the Taurus 22. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called. Can't remember the model of the Taurus 22. It's great though. I've got one I've shot a lot, no issues. But it's bigger. This is just a really something. This is a really special firearm. They hit a home run with this Kel-Tec P17. But anyway, guys, that's all I've got. Somebody's opened my garage door. I hope everybody has a great day. Hope everybody has a great rest of the month of July. Let's pray for the country. Let's pray that we can find some unity in our country, and let's pray that people will begin to realize that the mainstream media is the enemy of we the people. They are, for 15 years now minimum, they have become simply a machine of information control and fake news and narratives to keep we the people divided. And that's all I'm going to say on that. So, guys, enjoy your weekend, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace out, guys.